Augustana hockey is still being built from the ground up, even as the vision up above becomes clearer.
As things have gone vertical, it's noticeable. And it's funny how many people tell me when they drive by on 33rd Street that it's absolutely becoming very real. So no, it's been incredible. It's really fun to walk into work and see the progress all the time.
The brick and mortar of Midco Arena is starting to take shape, along with Augustana's place in the college hockey landscape. In May, the Vikings officially joined the Central Collegiate Hockey Association, a conference affiliation that's already paying dividends.
Part of our agreement, joining the CCHA is we're a part of all meetings right now. So even a year ahead of time, Coach Raboin gets to hear the conversations. I get to be part of the AD's meetings too. So that's incredibly helpful.
I think it's the perfect fit for both the CCHA and for us. There's those regional rivalries that we're so familiar with the NSIC. To be able to play the Mankato's, Bemidji, St. Thomas's, I think it all makes sense, and the fans are really going to be in for a treat once we are off and running in October.
The CCHA provides Augustana with the comfort of guaranteed conference games, as well as the ability to find dates for non-conference opponents. The schedule is starting to ramp up, which makes the anticipation on campus even stronger.
It's my first time actually being on the site. I'm able to look at it every day out my window over at the Elman Center, but this will be my first time actually walking on the property and really getting the lay of the land right on site here.
As head coach Garrett Raboin's footprints make their mark at Midco Arena, his fingerprints are all over its design, from the weight room to the locker room.
It's like a U-shape, essentially a football U-shape, and the idea behind it is everybody, no matter where they're at in the room, can communicate with one another, so you can always see face-to-face and make eye contact with any of your 28 teammates.
A majority of those teammates will be known in the coming weeks and months, as Augustana's inaugural recruiting class slowly trickles in. But they won't actually be the first official members of the team. That honor belongs to Ben Trombley and Will Svendal. Or is it Will Svendal and Ben Trombley?
I don't know who came first, but they kind of were a package deal.
Technically Will, but we kind of talked before, so he made the move first, and then I was second.
We kind of talked about it together, so we kind of told each other we were going to go kind of the same day. I happened to announce mine first, so you can technically say I was, but yeah, no, it's super cool to be kind of the start of a program, and hopefully one that will have a lot of tradition and a lot of success in years to come.
Will and Ben are currently in the midst of one of the most unique redshirt seasons imaginable. They're both enrolled at Augustana, taking classes, and preparing for first puck drop in 11 months.
We're working out 3 times a week at the field house, and then skating twice a week at the Shields Ice Complex. And so we're still getting our work in, training, and getting ready for the following season.
It's a little different, but personally I think it'll help a lot, just kind of skill development and stuff like that, getting me ready to play at the next level next year.
They could have very easily said, you know what, Rabs, this is it's too crazy. Like, we don't know what we're getting ourselves into. They were excited about all of this. They said, you know what, we don't really care. We want to be part of that first team. We know all of our teammates and friends are doing something completely different, but we're into this.
Will and Ben's presence on the ice right now will certainly pay off in 2023, but their presence on campus is even more valuable.
It's brilliant because we have two young men that are learning about Augustana. They're ambassadors for the hockey program, and when we host recruits, they can be there to answer those questions, right? To be hosts, because that's something as a startup you wouldn't normally have.
I'm leaning on them as we build out a program, as we design the jerseys, as we pick apparel and Zambonis and features within the rink and build out a players' lounge. It's great to have their insight.
They're a big part of the foundation and what we're trying to do here.
Andy Bachetto is another fresh face for this Viking program, hired as an assistant coach over the summer from Colgate University in New York.
We don't want to cut any corners. We don't get a chance to redo this, so we want to make sure we do it right, and the process obviously is important.
He's just going to be a teammate of mine this year, someone I lean heavily on as we build this program. Center ice right here. A year from now.
Coach Rabs can see it. Not just the sheet of ice, but the bigger picture. Every day brings Augustana hockey further away from concept and closer to reality. The foundation's been laid, the moves have been made, and the building blocks are starting to stack up.
This isn't just something that's going to be built and that's where it is for eternity. It's a continuing thing where the bar continues to move, and we got to continue to keep up with everything and the latest trends. This is the front porch of not just Augustana hockey, Augustana athletics, but this is the front porch of Augustana University.
All right, David Brown, it's been interesting and fun to kind of track this process all the way along, for one thing, right?
Yeah, it's just cool to see kind of the step-by-step process they're making, and first puck drop less than a year away.
We saw a little bit of the practices, and they are having practices right now, but it's a pretty small group, right?
Yeah, as I mentioned, it's Ben Trombley,
Yeah.
it's Will Svendal, and it's Coach Rabs, and maybe every now and then assistant Andy Bichetto when he's not out recruiting, but it looks more like a private hockey lesson than an actual practice, but they get on the ice a couple times a week, and Coach Rabs says they're kind of leaning into how different this is and say, well, right now we just got to get Ben and Will as ready as possible, so they're taking advantage of it.
All right, and need some other players, obviously, but what else is going to happen in the next 10 months or so?
Obviously scheduling, they've already got some non-conference games scheduled on the road, but I got to get the schedule ramped up. Obviously recruits will start coming in the coming weeks and months. And then away from the ice, the season tickets, they got to get that shored up, the marketing stuff. They got to unveil the sweaters, the jerseys that they're going to be wearing on the ice. So still a ton of things to work on over the next couple months, but it's fun to see it go down.
Yeah, games at Notre Dame, at Arizona State are on that schedule already. But what about the arena? You can track the progress of the arena if you want to, right?
Yeah, check this out. It's a really cool time lapse that's going of the progress of Midco Arena, and you can keep up to date on it. There's a link on goaugie.com where you can see the time lapse basically from the ground to where they are currently today.
All right, appreciate it, David Brown.
This has been Midco Sports Magazine, presented by Build Your Base with Beef Sports Nutrition and Training Program.